Hello everybody and welcome back to the studio. It has been quite a while since I've actually had the chance to talk to you lovely people, and today we're going to talk desks. Very dramatic, I know, but it's going to be good. Let me walk you through all of the changes in my setup and show you my brand new desk after a short word from this video's sponsor.
Gigabyte's Aorus range of AMD B550 and X570 motherboards are perfect for your next gaming PC. With a complete stack of the highest quality boards, Gigabyte has all of your needs covered. Supporting the latest Ryzen 5000 processors and PCIe 4, you're not only going to be gaming with sky-high frame rates, but are fully ready for the next generation of hyper-fast SSD storage. Get your build on today with Gigabyte Aorus. Check it out with that link down below.
I think my setup has actually changed a fair bit since the last time that we spoke. Not completely drastically differently, but we have actually now swapped out this monitor. This is the Alienware AW38W something, I'm not sure. I've actually done a full review of it. You can find it in the top right corner of your screen, but it's 144 Hz, 3840 by 1600, so it's very big, but it's also very sharp, so it's brilliant for content creation and gaming. I've swapped from the PG35VQ. It really was a brilliant monitor, but it wasn't quite accurate enough really for what I wanted to use it for, and I wasn't getting the full use, shall we say, out of that HDR 1000. The mouse mat I think you've seen before. This is new from Corsair. It is RGB. They sent this one out. We have the MX Master 3 and then the Logitech G Pro Super Light. This is just flawless really for work. It's very comfortable to use over the long term, and I spend most of my life pretty much sitting at this desk doing a load of video editing, so having a good mouse is pretty much an essential bit of kit. Just like our gaming mouse, this is so light it's unbelievable. It doesn't rely on any holes or anything. This is Logitech's G Pro Super Light. This was actually supplied for a sponsored video. This was sort of supplied as a review sample, but both of them are excellent and I really do love them. We also have this. This is the ROG Claymore. This was supplied also for a review sample, but to be honest with you, I am starting to think that I might switch back to the Logitech G915, just because this is probably the best gaming keyboard I've used, but it's just a little bit big and chunky for me. I'd much rather have something that's a bit smaller, but I don't want to be without the media keys or the volume wheel. I don't have a huge update for you on the whole PC side of things, but we do have a little bit of a change, and unfortunately not in a good way, because this RGB CPU block here is actually sort of half broken. Nothing drastic, but it doesn't actually set to be the right color anymore. It just happened of its own accord and I can't seem to fix it with software, which is quite annoying, and it is actually something to bear in mind with Corsair fans, because I've heard of this happening before, but this is actually the first time that's happened to me. I can't share the specific details with you yet, but it does actually look like I'm going to do a whole new build guide on my own personal PC. We're going to make an entirely new one from scratch, because this is X299, which is starting to show its age a little bit, especially with something like a 3080. It's not absolutely the best for high refresh rate gaming. It's brilliant for work, but I want something that can sort of do both. So I'll be taking the opportunity to actually do like a full, probably hardline liquid cooled loop. I do have a full guide on a separate hardline video coming very soon. How difficult is it? Is it actually as scary as it seems, or is it going to go smoothly without a hitch? Probably not, but get subscribed, as I say, to see that. But the topic of today's video isn't actually this desk, it is this one, my gaming presentation desk that has had so many problems. As you can see, it's really warped. Even this bit of worktop on the top is starting to bend a little bit now, which is a disaster. And I'm really pleased to say that inside this box we have a whole new one. So the question is this desk going to be better than this one that just like wobbles and bends, and I guess shows you that if you're going to buy a desk, don't go cheap, because it'll be a disaster. I guess I probably should explain in a little bit more detail. I'd say that the best way of getting any desk that actually matches your room isn't to buy a dedicated desk, especially from somewhere like IKEA, because a lot of them are just too small. When you think things like ultra-wide monitors or anything really that's more gaming orientated, does actually require quite a lot of space and, more importantly, quite a lot of depth. A lot of them, especially more of the budget end stuff, just doesn't do it. So what I've got over there really works because I've got some Alex drawers from IKEA, and then frankly a way too expensive worktop from Worktop Express. This was American walnut and it was almost £500. It was stupid, but ultimately I do use it every day. Whereas what I've been using here has been pretty atrocious, to be honest with you. It wobbles, as I say, it's warped, and it's just not really been very good at all, to be honest with you. I was supplied it by Overclockers UK. I've actually put a dedicated worktop on here as well, also from Worktop Express. This is an oak top. This was a lot cheaper. This was near the £200 mark, which is obviously a lot more sensible for a desk. But even this has not been able to sort of save the problems, which has mainly been the legs of this desk. So I reached out to a company called, oh, this is awkward, what were they called? Flexispot, that was it. The Flexispot E7 is what they've sent out. And interestingly, my cameraman's dad actually has already bought one of these and is very happy. And I believe that Gareth actually got the same one as well, but that's now at his parents' house. But that's a story for another day. Well, it's definitely not, it's a rubbish story. The relevance of all of this being, what's in the box should be a whole lot better than what I've got now. Which means it's time to put my massive arms into action and actually take this old desk apart. It definitely would be a little bit of a fail if this was so heavy I couldn't lift it, but I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, it is a solid bit of wood. This is definitely not light. Oh, see, told you I could do it. Just about workout centric with, well, PC Centric. Now you can see what we had before, which definitely looked all right. It was a black desk, but then the problem is that all of this top is actually divided into 3 different bits, and then you have one fairly weak central bar that goes all the way through the desk. So this whole thing just got bowed over time, and the legs, well, the legs do this. Surely you must have noticed this in my videos. A third of a desk made out of chipboard in the middle. Just go to IKEA. If you are shopping on a tight budget, just make sure whatever you buy is one solid piece, regardless of whether that's MDF or something ridiculously luxury like, I don't know, marble. All of those gaming setups that have marble desks. But alas, out with the old and in with the new. And interestingly, our flexispot desk does actually say sanodesk. I do believe that you get a range of different colours to pick from. I have gone for white, but you can get things like black or grey and anything really to match your style. I would say that it's a shame that you had to assemble this yourself, but I mean, if it turned up full size, I think that would be quite a big box. The pieces themselves do feel pretty weighty, which is good. The paint job seems to be pretty consistent too, which it doesn't necessarily have to be if you think you're not going to see all of the different bits and bobs, but it's good that they do give you that attention to detail. You'll get 2 different size boxes, and I think this depends on which sort of size desk that you go for, because if you're going for just the legs, obviously the size of top you're going to use will vary, so you can actually adjust it to make sure that you are getting the right fit for your right top. Let's see what's inside the big box though. I imagine it's more bits of desk. And this is exactly the reason that I wanted to go for one of these, because you can immediately see that you do have pretty much double the strength that you'd have from my old desk, where you've got 2 supports here rather than 1. And when you are putting a lot of weight on your desk and you're maybe moving things around all the time, this is going to make a big difference. All of the screws do actually come very helpfully labelled in these little sub bags, which I always appreciate. This is actually really, really easy to install because everything seems to just drop into place and there aren't really many steps. With the last desk that I used, you almost had to have 3 different hands because one thing would start falling down and then you'd have to hold it, but then you wouldn't be able to use the screwdriver or your Allen key to actually get everything in place. Whereas this actually is pretty much just drag and drop. If you can use a computer, then you can probably install this. So you lay your desktop on the floor, then you grab your half assembled frame and you just put it down like so. Then you can do a Hulk and make this as big as you need it. Mark out your pilot holes. And then you should be able to screw it in. Once you've done that, you can then start to actually install the electronics. So you have 2 different power supply connections, one for each motor that's actually built into each leg. Then screw in that control box. But now comes the more tricky bit of actually flipping this over, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this by myself. I'll give it a go. Maybe that's silly, but I don't know, I like to live dangerously. I don't really. Here we go. Give it some power. And then the moment of truth. Will this be a much better standing desk than we had before? Oh. Yes. Listen to that. It does go pretty high. Don't think you really need it any higher than that. But as you can see, it is actually quite ginormous. It looks almost silly in this room, but we've not got it in its final position. But we do have a few different presets. You've got the sitting one and the standing one. 2 tests for it to pass. Is it actually flat? Certainly seems so. before the screwdriver would genuinely just roll off the desk. And then the other is, will it wobble? And I genuinely haven't tested this. This is the thing that I wanted a new desk for. Moment of truth. No wobble! That is how a desk is supposed to be. You should be able to use it and not want to, I don't know, not break your own face. Is that a phrase? You've got to agree with me that this colour combination really does look great with the oak, the white, and the whole design of it. I mean, it is a desk, so it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Price of this is pretty good. It's around about £300. It depends, obviously, what size you want and whether you want a top or anything on it. And if you do add your own top and you want something like this, it is going to start to add up a little bit. But I mean, even having this little bar underneath, look, so you don't see any of the cables. Nice things like that really do add up to make a big difference. As for the studio or the set, obviously it's not really going to have changed drastically, if at all, because visually it looks the same, it's the same desktop, and fundamentally the desk does not move side to side like the old one did. And it also made this horrible racket. When you pushed it down, it would make, well, the bedroom noises of squeaky, 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 which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is not really what you'd want when you're building a computer. That's not what you want to think about. You want to think about all these lovely gaming PC parts. But anyway, that does draw this setup update to a close. Let me know your thoughts on some of the upgrades, in particular this desk and the desktop. If you've liked this video, then smash that like button. It honestly does help out so much you really wouldn't believe. Get yourself subscribed for more videos just like this so you don't miss a new one. And if you do want to check out current pricing on anything featured in this video, then of course you can find it linked down below with my Amazon affiliate links.
And of course, while you're down there, start planning your next build with Gigabyte Aorus. Their boards not only offer fantastic value for money, but provide you with everything that you need for the build of your dreams. AMD B550 is perfect for price to performance gaming, whilst X570 packs in every feature a gamer could ask for. Check out Gigabyte Aorus motherboards today with that link down below.
Thank you so much for checking this video out. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.